Why not try your own? 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 Hi, welcome to Sven's Bricks. When you spend as much time with the Speed Champions as I do, then the LEGO City cars tend to look a bit small and, dare I say it, toy-like. So I thought it'd be fun to build a custom model inspired by the electric sports car. So for this one, I'm going to use just a 6x12 plate, which is a bit unlike me because I normally go for a chassis piece. But I thought it'd be fun to try this as a bit of a challenge. The chassis pieces give you the advantage of having the slightly dropped section in the middle to allow for more space for a minifigure. But as that's what I usually do, I thought I'd try something a bit different this time. I'm also going to try using these new wheel arches. These ones are taken from Dom's Charger, the Fast and Furious set. So I'm going to try these out in order to use the larger wheels, also taken from that set, with Koenigsegg hubcaps on. I tend to start off this way with my builds, just to get an idea of the size and the space that I have to play with in between the bricks. You'll see here that I've also transferred across the slope pieces from the sports car. As the plate is 6 wide, I'm then going to attach a couple of 2x6 plates with some 1x6 plates underneath in order to widen the wheelbase a little bit. I've also added these small slopes here to create an air intake. At this point, I'm going to start to rip apart the sports car to grab some of these parts. Now it's this neon yellow colour that's going to prove an issue because I almost have no pieces in that colour. In fact, I only have one other set, and that's the small police car set from last year in that colour. So we're going to have to work around that a little bit, especially here down the sides where I don't have a 6 long plate, which is why I'm going to create a little air intake down the side there to make it look deliberate. You'll see what I mean a bit later on. I'm just going to add a 1x4 plate across the middle there, so that I can then put my extra 1x4 neon yellows across there. Then I'm going to add a couple of 1x4 bricks. I'm starting to feel the need to strengthen these wheel arches already. So under the back ones, I'm going to add 1x2 bricks. And under the front ones, I'm going to add 1x1s, because I have an idea for the central section there. We can then rip off these blue parts from the sides on the original car. And underneath those is where we're going to add the top of the air intakes. My design is going to have wing mirrors. And then next we're going to move on to the front section. So we're going to rip this off. In fact, we're not going to use much of the original car. So because this is 2x6 wide, and this is an 8 wide build, and there's no alternative for this neon yellow here at the bottom, I'm going to keep these parts, but I'm going to kind of inset them a little bit by putting them across these 2 plates instead. I've added a couple of orange pieces there, kind of a bit like indicators. These are going to come off. I'm going to put these light blue bricks right on the very front of the car. Adding in a couple of black plates on the side, and then shifting these grey rounded pieces to the outside again. Placing in our light blue plate. And I need to attach this to the body, so I'm actually just going to remove those bottom bits just for a moment. I'm going to add a couple of 4x4 plates so that we can add that on. On the sides here, I'm going to add a 1x1 brick and a little wedged slope on each side, and then a couple of 1x1 bricks with a tile and a cheese slope into the gap inside there. For the rest of this hood section here, I'm going to take a plate, I'm going to put it on a couple of these hinged parts, and then on top of that I'm placing another 4x4 plate, a 1x4 plate and a couple of grill pieces to then attach our 2x4 neon yellow piece. And that is going to sit in there so that it can angle down just slightly. From there we're adding in a couple of small slopes with a plate on underneath just to fill in that last remaining gap, as well as one of these new semicircle tiles that I got extra with the slushy van. From here I need a 1x6 plate for the windscreen to attach to, and a couple of 1x1 bricks in the side there. Also then going to take inspiration from the original set and add one of these arched pieces, but in a 6 long, with some cheese slopes on top. That can be our dashboard. And we'll also then add another plate in there so that we can move our steering wheel across. For the back of the car, I'm going to use 3 of these snot pieces. I'm going to add a 1x6 plate and a couple of 1x8 plates. I'm going to steal a few more parts from the original build. Add a couple of 1x2 plates to fill in the gap there. And then behind those, I'm going to add in 1x3 plates with little cheese slopes on top for a bit of extra shaping. We're going to add back in our 1x4 panel piece, and then I'm going to add a couple of corner panel pieces in order to complete the new wider diffuser. And then we just need to move over the cheese slopes from the original cut. Now, in order to attach this, I'm going to add in a 1x4 brick there and a couple of more there just for a bit of extra strength. And then I'm going to add a couple of these bracket pieces, the studs on the side, and two 2x4 plates so that this entire section can then be added on. I'm then going to chuck in a 1x4 plate in there so that we can steal the battery tiles and place those in here. And I'm actually going to hide the battery tiles underneath a little cover. So we're going to add these little clip pieces with these modified plates with bars on the side, which will act as like a little access door to the batteries. In order to make those a bit easier to open, we're going to add a couple more of those clip pieces just as handles, and those can then be opened as access. Add in a couple of these as backrests for our man. Going to chuck in a 1x4 plate and a 1x4 brick in behind those backrest parts. And on top of those, we're just going to add 2x4 tiles to tidy up the interior a little, and a 1x2 grill piece, which leaves a little hole here. And in that hole, I'm going to place a plate with a tile on it in order to create a little luggage storage area. Just need to tidy up this back section a little bit with 2x3 slopes. And then in between there, we're adding a 2x2 plate and a 1x2 plate so that we can take the hinged piece from the original build and place it across the back there. I'm then just going to flip the car over and fill in a couple of 1x1 bricks underneath here, where there's leaving a gap or two around our wheel arches. And then all that remains is to add these rounded 1x1 tiles, our fella from the original car, and the windscreen pieces. And there we have it. This is just a quick one for you today, but I'm pretty pleased with the outcome. I think I managed to achieve some good angles with a couple of nice techniques and workarounds. And in the end, I actually only used 6 or 7 parts from the original set. But that's it for today. It was just a quick one. If you're enjoying the content, please drop a like as it helps the channel to grow. I'll see you again for the next video. Bye for now.